Now let's bring you the latest in the Sushant Singh Rajput case, where a 5-member medical board of forensic experts from AIIMS in Delhi, which was formed to look into Sushant Singh Rajput's death case, will meet on the 20th of September and give its finding to the CBI. The AIIMS forensic team analysed the pattern of injuries and reviewed photographs, the postmortem report, the ligature material and the papers as well related to the actor's death. The experts visited the actor's residence in Mumbai between September 4th and 6th and questioned the doctors as well who conducted the autopsy and checked the condition of the mortuary as well. What exactly could this talk about, and what impact will this report that the panel of doctors in AIIMS actually form will have in the death probe? Let's find that out from my colleague Arvind Gunashekhar joining us. Arvind, take us through what exactly will be the impact and how crucial is this report that AIIMS will give to the CBI?
Sonal, based on the request from the Central Bureau of Investigation, the AIIMS had constituted a medical board comprising of 5 doctors led by Dr. Sudhir Gupta, who is the head of forensic medicines of AIIMS in New Delhi. So these 5 members, which makes the medical board, they would be sitting on Sunday, that is on September 20th, for a final meeting on Sushant Singh Rajput case. In fact, after Sushant Singh Rajput case was forwarded to the Central Bureau of Investigation for further investigation, the agency had sought the assistance from the AIIMS to study the autopsy and also viscera report in connection with the death of Sushant Singh Rajput. So the primary focus of this particular board of doctors is to see whether there is any foul play, whether there was any foul play in the death of Sushant Singh Rajput, or whether that was a clear-cut case of suicide. So that's the sole agenda of this particular meeting that is scheduled for September 20th. In fact, the committee, the board of doctors has already been supplied with the copy of the autopsy report, whereas the board of doctors are waiting the viscera report in connection with this particular case. The viscera report is expected by Friday. So on Sunday, the board of doctors will meet in New Delhi, where they would be forming their opinion, forming their findings, and then that will be submitted to the Central Bureau of Investigation early next week. So what our sources in this particular team are saying to us is that this particular finding or opinion that would be given by these doctors to the Central Bureau of Investigation will be a clear-cut one. There won't be any ambiguous finding in this particular case. They would give a conclusive evidence, they would give a conclusive finding or expert opinion in this particular case to the Central Bureau of Investigation without any confusion or without any iota of doubt. So that would help the Central Bureau of Investigation to steer ahead in this particular case. In fact, the CBI is also waiting for this expert opinion from the CBI, from the AIIMS, whether there was any foul play in the death of Sushant Singh Rajput. If the board of doctors, if they say that there was indeed a foul play in the death of Sushant Singh Rajput, then the agency will be steering ahead, will be probing this case from the angle of a murder or a culpable homicide. If the board of doctors say that there was no foul play in the death of Sushant Singh Rajput, then the agency will be probing this case from the angle of an abetment of suicide. So this particular report that will be submitted by the AIIMS doctors is very important when it comes to this particular case. Sonar?